we began it. There's some other projects inside here. We are of charcoal. And we basically use all the products, as you'll see, we get them from the dumping site. Yes, this is the part of the program that we have to rehabilitate the people working on the dump site and also to rehabilitate the place. Yeah, because part of the bigger program of decommissioning the dump site, which until now we are still trying to grapple with it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So welcome.
Well done.
When everybody hears about Youth Fund, they only hear about money. But of course, we are trying to reach out to the young entrepreneurs. But of course, what we are doing is to develop these young people, and we also want to partner in those initiatives to be able to work together, to collaborate and create partnerships that can be able to develop the young person and also expose the various opportunities that are available to these young entrepreneurs. And we come in also to fund such enterprises to be able to develop and build their capacity.
I believe that development is done by simple people in a very simple way. And this is the results. You know, when the junior achievement came last year, it was a simple talk, a simple engagement, and then a simple working together. And you can see the results. And there have been many other things, as all of us have seen. All these groups have grown over the years because simple people have felt the commitment, they've given their contribution, their shilling, their what, and we are where we are. And I think this is what we should not lose, our simplicity, because it has brought us where we are and it will take us where we shall be.
We believe staying in Nairobi would not really, or staying in our big offices, would not make an impact to the young people. That's why as a ministry we have decided to go to the grassroots so that we can talk to the young people there, we know what the issues are. And we have seen the young people don't have issues. It is just lack of exposure. Yeah? And it is for us to reach out to them, expose them to what we have, train them, yeah? And they'll be able to achieve.
The question was about job creation, entrepreneurship, young people. What do we do? Some figures that were thrown around, and many of you may be familiar with these numbers. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's currently 800 million people. 62% of these people are under the age of 24. That's 500 million. And then 40% of that number are either out of school or unemployed. That's 220 million people roaming the streets, getting into drugs, prostitution, crime. Whose problem is this? And where does the solution lie?
One of the biggest challenges I have faced is that young people, quite a number of them, have no initiative in terms of, and I normally like asking a very simple question in most of the meetings. There are how many young people have phones? And you see all of them raise their hands. How many young people are on the Facebook? All of them raise their hands. But I ask, how many of you have Googled Youth Enterprise Fund? All the hands are down. Then I ask, there are some things that you can very easily access from the Youth Fund website in terms of what we do, the products, the services, and how you can be able to access any of those services. But very few of the young people want to go that way.
If you have an idea, a concept which is viable, which is can work, you will find capital. I don't think you'll struggle in that context. And two, I think you should not look at capital being a constraint in of itself. If you look at some of the larger companies in the world, your Googles, your Microsoft, your Facebooks, these are companies that began at people's desks, at people's garages. They had no capital, they had no capacity. They built it, it was an idea, they drove it, they had passion, and the capital came.
The issue is not mainly on capital. The issue, I can say, even past paper now, for those young people, write your idea of business, you'll get a lot of business ideas. One which are very nice for very smart, but how to execute, I can beg junior achievement. If we go out of school, those who are in school will cry. There is a lot of young people out of school there. Even take an example, go to streets. Those who are doing small businesses are young people, are not elders, just young people like you, but they are doing small business because they are out of school, they don't know how to do, maybe they feel they are no knowledge. But if Junior Achievement going to at least train them who are out of school, those we call matching girls and whatever, those who are in school, we will cry writing on our CVs. So the issue is not capital, the issue is how you can start, how to execute.
I think the challenge we have is helping young people create jobs for themselves. The overwhelming bulk of employment around the world is in small and medium enterprises. And we found, statistically, it was interesting, I was in Sweden 2 weeks ago speaking at a conference on youth unemployment. And in Sweden, the company program that we run there, 24% of those small enterprises go on after the end of the program, become part of the formal economy. In a place like Canada, you look at both youth development as well as economic development. The impact of JA in Canada is about $450 million on the Canadian economy each year. So every dollar that's spent on JA leverages $45 in the economy. So you have to look at it both in terms of how do you teach, mentor, educate young people to create a job for themselves so that they can better their lives, and then look at that in terms of the overall economic impact on the country in which they're doing it.
I believe we are all born to fly. We've been told from our childhood that you can't fly, don't do this, don't do that, and that's how we are all conditioned. It's up to you whether you want to fly, you want to use yourselves as a tractor, or you want to use yourselves as a bullock cart, or do nothing about it. Don't complain, just start doing it.
Today we're celebrating the partnership with Citi. So we want to call on Michael, Marianne, to present the check.
We're very proud to be associated with the Junior Achievement, and I think this is hopefully something small that can go a long way towards the initiatives and the programs that Junior Achievement in Africa is trying to achieve, and we continue to be your partners going forward. Thank you.
When I drop out from school, I drop out of school, but I didn't have anywhere to go. But I was just an idler. So I used to be there as a youth in the church. So that's the reason that after a few days, the priest in church take me to tell me that Joseph, I need to go and work in the briquette. So that's the way I entered into the Whitechapel project. G training has trained me, our group, even to how to change things, the way now that we are living in the world of modernity. For now, you find out that before I was a treasurer of the group, but now I can be a financial controller, and I have all the characters of the financial controller of the group. So they have trained me to know the cost of the group, to price the briquette, even to overcome the business flow and the business plan, how to write them, so you may keep it down as a financial manager. You need to come with a good record of this thing. GA come, so I come to realize with GA I have changed.